Hi everyone, and welcome to Washington Echoes, where we travel back through time. Washington is centrally located within the triangle of Newcastle, Sunderland and Durham in northeast England. Please subscribe now to keep updated with local history in and around the Washington area. I'm Audrey Fletcher, and I'm here today to share with you the mystery of the Anglo-Saxon doorway at Washington Village. Is it Anglo-Saxon as it appears to be, or is it a 12th century copy? A part of our Anglo-Saxon heritage, a mysterious doorway, is hidden in plain sight on the Washington Village Green, just alongside the Washington Arms. In centuries gone by, it would have faced directly onto the village pond. Its position is indicated by the arrows on these photos, which I took in 2018. You may have to do battle with the stinging nettles, which guard the mysterious doorway, but like the knights of old, the quest will be worth it. Of course, the trees and nettles were not always there. It used to be a grassed area, as shown on the painting to the left of the screen. You will notice that the old farmhouse and barn of Holland Hill Farm in the painting have since been pulled down, and the stones reused to build the current house. The painting, of which this is only a portion, is by local artist and historian Christopher Bennett. He completed a series of paintings of old Washington in about the 1940s and 1950s. It is with the kind permission of Delena Kidd, yes, Dr. Kidd's famous actress daughter, that I am able to share it with you in writing this history of the mysterious Anglo-Saxon doorway. Regarding Holland Hill Farm, Holland is an Old English word for holly, and, well, possibly holy. Was this originally Holly Hill in Anglo-Saxon times, or even Holy Hill? There again, perhaps it just happened to be the surname of the people who lived there. So, finally we have made our way through the undergrowth and stinging nettles to discover the stoned-up Anglo-Saxon doorway. Wow, it really does take one's breath away. If it is an Anglo-Saxon doorway, then it must also be an Anglo-Saxon wall. Now that gives food for thought. The mystery deepens. You will notice that the level of the soil has been built up in front of the wall, sealing off the bottom section. Now, why would that be? To landscape the area, perhaps. In the photo to the left of the screen is my husband, Edwin Fletcher, formerly of 21 The Terraces down by the Victoria, Columbia. We were both fascinated by the antiquity of the doorway. It was in 1947 that local historian Fred Hill alerted Washington Urban Council to the fact that part of the stonework above the doorway is loose and threatening to fall. I beg to suggest that this stonework be repaired by the council, thus preserving a place of some historic interest to the district. The council agreed to carry out the repairs, but I'm sure that the result was not the one anticipated by Fred Hill. To the right is a full view photo of the doorway before the council repairs. To me, it looks in better condition than after the work was done. However, it was the stones above the doorway that Fred Hill was concerned about, a safety issue. I feel certain that he would have been positively shocked by the final outcome of the repair job. Frederick Hill had applied to the council to have the stonework above the doorway repaired. Nothing else. He clearly had a safety concern about the wall and was keen to preserve both the wall and the doorway for historic interest. For centuries, the locals had been familiar with the old underground vault, which lay behind the door. In fact, it had been used as an air raid shelter, up until 2 years previously in the Second World War. Prior to that, in the early part of the last century, the vault was used as a temporary lockup, where drunks and poachers were incarcerated to await convenience of Gateshead constables and magistrates. Going back even further in time, Fred Hill suggests that the vault was used as a place of refuge during the border wars, which lasted for about 300 years from the late 13th century. It seems that the border reivers were after stealing the cattle from the people of Washington Village. They were in search of English beef, unrationed. This was Fred Hill's little joke relating to the Second World War food rationing. The Washington Urban Council not only repaired the wall above the door, as requested by Fred Hill, they completely blocked in the doorway as well. This had the result of leaving it fragile instead of strong and sturdy as it originally was. The job done does not seem to be of the best quality workmanship, as you will see when you visit the site. In the photos to the left of the screen can be seen the doorway before and after the council repairs, and also the vault and its unmistakable view. Fred Hill had previously had the vault examined by 2 archaeological experts, who agreed in their opinion that the brick-lined barrel-arched vault was of 12th century workmanship, whilst the stone doorway is of Saxon character. Looking at the photograph, the workmanship is second to none. The vault was built to last. More than 800 years so far. The brick-lined arched ceiling was supported by the approximately 4 foot 6 inches vertical walls. The walls would have been at least 1 foot thick, and the staunch wooden door and door frames would have been of English oak. I would suspect that this photo was taken not long before the vault was stoned up, as the floor had just been washed. I wonder if they locked the door. That the brick-lined barrel-arched vault was of 12th century workmanship immediately brings to mind William de Wessington I. He was originally William de Hartburn, but he assumed tenancy of the Washington lands from the Bishop of Durham in 1183 at a cost of £4 per year. We are left to wonder why William de Wessington I would have had this vault built, or modified from an Anglo-Saxon cavern, as a brick-lined barrel structure. Was it indeed a vault, in the sense of a crypt or a tomb? Or was it a secret meeting place or hideout? There are no windows or means of fresh air supply, except when the door is open, so it is possible that there were times when enemies were incarcerated there and left to die, rather like an oubliette. Maybe it was an ice house, kept cool by the tons of earth surrounding and above it. What can be definitely said, however, is that because it was so well constructed, it was clearly a place of great importance. That the doorway was of Saxon character suggests that the 2 archaeological experts who examined the doorway into the vault were not willing to commit themselves to an Anglo-Saxon origin. Perhaps they did not consider that the 12th century vault had been previously utilised in Anglo-Saxon times, and also that the 12th century work was a restoration build to stabilise the structure. Perhaps they were not familiar with the Anglo-Saxon history of Washington Village. Committing to the doorway as definitely of Anglo-Saxon origin meant recognising that the wall into which it was built was also of Anglo-Saxon origin. Perhaps they could not reconcile such an ancient structure being within the boundaries of Washington Village. Moreover, the wall is similar engineering to that used at the Old Hall in Anglo-Saxon times, a cut and fill with stone retaining walls to create a flat building surface. In the photos to the left of the screen, compare the structure of the doorway in the wall of Holland Hill Farm to that of the doorway of the Washington Village Anglo-Saxon Church, the church on the hill. Would you consider the doorways to be of the same period, I wonder? So, what could have been the purpose of the cavern in Anglo-Saxon times, if in fact it did exist then? Did it have some sort of religious significance or association? Was it the tomb of the local chieftain? Was it a shrine and or a centre of pilgrimage before the church was built? After all, the Old English weshen translates as washing place, which suggests a ritual significance. Weshen translates into Geordie as Weshen, as in Washington. As a shrine and a centre of pilgrimage overlooking the village pond, it would have held a special significance, as water was considered to be a doorway to the spirit world. Perhaps travellers prayed there and paid a tribute to the gods before crossing the Weshen Breck, symbolically to the other side, cleansed of their sins. Did a hermit or an acolyte live there? Or perhaps it was just a workshop or a shelter for both animals and people, though I very much doubt it. So, is the doorway to the 12th century brick-lined barrel-arched vault in the style of Anglo-Saxon workmanship? Or is it an original Anglo-Saxon doorway? My considered opinion is that it is of Anglo-Saxon origin, because if it was a 12th century doorway, it would be of Norman architecture. Well everyone, I hope that you have enjoyed this presentation and subscribed to my channel. I look forward to sharing my continued research into Washington history with you in my next video. Bye for now.